I do not think that he oppressed the people in a way because when he was doing this so-called oppression, I believe that he was still in his right state of mind, and trying to do what was best for France. Just after this communist ideals crawled into him, which I believe he became misguided.
Delegate. Delegates, can we please raise our placards again if you haven't? Make sure I understand. Okay, 2 more points. Voting to extend the information that isn't already. Okay, so we believe you have recognized.
So during all of the points of information that we have collected, you first said bad things about Maximilian Robespierre because you thought he had concrete ideals, and you also said that the best government now would be a constitutional monarchy. But before the idea of communism was here, you stated that a democracy would be best. What led you to change that, and why aren't you rallying for democracy and now a constitutional monarchy when you in fact were completely against constitutional monarchy right before? What changed?
Well, simply because democracy is just out of the question. Nobody is talking about democracy right now. I would be a single man fighting against a whole room of people. Now that the subjects are communism versus the constitutional monarchy, I believe this would be the lesser evil.
Delegate. Augustine Robespierre has been recognized. That is an order. Reason for the socialists to have been recognized and before.
The delegate blatantly claimed Louis XVI destroyed our country, hence recognizing the monarchy's very recent and very destructive failures with France. Why does the delegate recognize in such a sure manner that the monarchy would not again destroy France if it was adopted yet one more time?
Because I believe that mimicking a subject zero of something that has never been tested before is arguably even more destructive, not knowing what would happen, or creating a system that has already been made so we can account and change and adapt to it to make it so things like this do not happen again.
Does the delegate then agree the monarchy is destructive?
I believe it's so. That's why I keep restating that this is the lesser evil.
So the delegate stated that compared to communism, a constitutional monarchy would be the best idea. So did the delegate completely drop a republic out of question?
One is clarification. One personal privilege may be let's please restate.
So the delegates stated that compared to communism, the constitutional monarchy would be the best option. But did the delegates completely disconsider a republic?
I'm not disconsidering a republic. As I had already stated when I'm asked about democracy, it's not being talked about him right now. There is no reason for one single man to preach to a room of people that are focused on other things. The things being discussed right now are communism versus a constitutional monarchy.
Delegate will go back to the chair.
So you
Delegates, quick announcement. Miguel, I have bad news. The shirts it went up to 2,500.
acabei.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Eu sou baiano, mas não é carioca.
Okay, delegates depart. So delegates, are you sure you won't? To who?
Point of clarification, I will not be able to give an size of since communism was not claims that they became insane because of communism.
That's okay, delegates. Is that clarified? Okay, so moving on, we have a speech, right? That is in order.
Evidence states it is essential to consider the context in which Robespierre operated. I operated in a period where crime was running rampant, where the country was crumbling. The hard decisions were made to secure the integrity of the country. France is a white horse whose sparks of revolution have steered off its path. And I am the question that will
the people because they've convinced absolutely everyone that they are advocates for communism, when in reality, they are filthy monarchists. I don't know how to recover from this emotionally. I'm devastated.
Journalist, thank you for letting us know. Do you have anything else to say? Or are you too emotional?
Moved. I just think this is absurd, and absolutely everyone who supports these two must immediately turn against them, because this is completely preposterous and the betrayal of the French people and our principles. Liberté, égalité, fraternité.
Does this mean?
I mean, not really.
I put their money.
Yeah.
You guys.
Motion to ask points of information to communist leader.
No, the journalists.
Are there any points in the house? Please read your placards. Okay, we'll have Ms. Antoine de Saint-Just, followed by Marie Antoinette, followed by Napoleon, followed by Jean Chapelle. Everyone, myself.
Thank you, Mr. Journalist of France. How is it that you can be so sure that Robespierre and Marie Antoinette are against communism?
I have sources.
Everything that this person here is saying is to be deemed as reliable.
Fact.
Wanted to know for argument.
Ah, okay, yes.
We follow up in order.
That is an argument.
Do the sources suggest any other revolutionary leaders are also against communism, or is it just them?
I can solely confirm what I hear about Maximilian and Marie Antoinette.
Thank you very much.
Yes, delegate, you may release your.
Are there reasons for why they shifted sides? Can they be? What are the reasons?
I mean, it's from what my understanding, it seems as though they enjoyed communism for the sake of gaining more popularity, but in reality, they really benefited from the monarchy.
That is an argument.
When you say monarchy, do you mean the old regime or the new constitutional monarchy?
Monarchy.
Thank you.
That is an argument. Delegate.
Mr. Journalist, why do you think Mr. Robespierre and Ms. Antoinette have been pretending to support communism instead of just openly supporting monarchy as they were benefiting from it all along?
I think they abused of the goodwill of the people and the search that people had for rights and for change, when in reality they just wanted to make themselves popular again.
What's to retract my POIs?
That is an order. Any further questions?
Motion to read it by the House.
That will be in the class for.
Motion for a 5-minute moderated call so we can chop this up.
Oi? Okay, so we're back with more interviews. Right now, we're in the French Revolution Trials Committee. I'm here with the chair, Eduarda. Eduarda, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Eduarda Castilho. I am a junior at the International School of Curitiba, and I am the co-chair for the French Revolution Trial.
What inspired you to choose this topic for your committee?
We wanted to do something different. I feel a lot of times that in MUN we kind of see the same topics going over and over again, and especially because we're kind of stuck to a procedure, we're like, let's switch it up a little bit. So we decided we wanted to do something with the French Revolution, and then we kind of went in depth into let's do a trial. And then we originally were going to do the trial of Marie Antoinette and the trial of Maximilien Robespierre, but then we ended up deciding that to do the trial of Louis the 16th and Maximilien Robespierre would be more ideal, as in Marie Antoinette didn't really do anything. It was more Louis who was in charge. Overall, it was more, we really, really wanted to actually, it's not called speaker's list, it's called cross-exam, direct exam, order of everything, or how many examinations. So that was all something we needed to figure out, but we were kind of able to mix a mock trial with MUN, and it's now flowing so well.
Thank you so much. We're back with another interview from the French Revolution trials. Can you please introduce yourself?
Miguel Costa. I am playing Georges Couton.
What would you say has been the biggest divide in the committee so far?
Biggest divide in the committee so far was probably the crisis, implementing communism versus a constitutional monarchy.
And would you say that this committee has been a hard committee, especially because it's not in typical MUN format?
It's different, but I think it's not hard because of the way that the chairs explained everything. They were able to basically give a very detailed and help us out. It's definitely been engaging, since a lot of the people here are very good and are very passionate about debating. So there have been a lot of good points made and a lot of good debates.
What would you say has been your favorite part of this committee so far?
Favorite part of this committee so far was probably me switching to in the middle of the committee session to becoming King Louis, because we needed one.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. We're back with another interview at the French Revolution trials. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. I am Louise Antoine de Saint-Just, and right now I am leading the communist revolution in France.
What would you say has been the hardest part of this committee so far?
Probably right now the crisis, because we have a house divided in 9 delegates versus 3, and I am in the 3 delegates. So it's been a challenge, but it's so fun, and I love it.
What has been your favorite part of the committee so far?
The opening statements, so different from actual MUN procedure, our opening statements are 2 minutes long, and that gave us a lot of wiggle room. I drafted an entire page for my speech, and I got to put all my cards out on the table, and I loved it very much.
And is there anything from being in this committee that you will take for life?
Mock trials. It's my first time, and it's really making me want to get involved with law more.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're back with another interview in the French Revolution Trials Committee. We're here with.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Can you please tell us what the hardest part of preparing for this committee was?
I think the hardest part of preparing to this committee was understanding the procedure as a whole, as it's a very different committee where we act both as witnesses and as lawyers. So we need to know both sides of the story, and it's also a very complex story regarding the time frame. So studying for this and understanding the differences between this and IMU and committee were very hard.
What has been your favorite part of this committee so far?
My favorite part is the ability that we have to model the committee as we like, because as a historical committee, we don't know what happened in the future, so we can model the story. For example, I married the princess of France, and I become the prince. So that shouldn't happen, but it happened. So it's very nice that we can change the story in the ways that will make the debate prosper.
And lastly, what would you say has been the biggest challenge of the debate overall?
I think that the biggest challenge of the debate overall was to take on the crisis, because I think both crises confused me a lot as a delegate to understand my position, as not only I had to understand Napoleon's position, but I also had to adapt to the fact that I now married the princess, so I had to adapt twice. So it was very hard to adapt to the crisis, but with the help of the chairs, it was fine.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. On with another interview. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Marie-Antoinette Robespierre.
Can you explain why the extra last name?
Well, after the death of my king, I have been left as a widow, and in hard times comes hard relationships, and love bloomed out of my relationship with Robespierre, and now we're husband and wife.
Wow, very interesting divergence from the story. What would you say has been the funnest part of the committee so far?
And as far as the committee, getting to play with history. We're getting to play with, maybe not play, but getting to shape the future of France.
What would you say has been the most shocking moment in the committee so far?
When the communist crisis came.
Can you tell us a bit more about that communist crisis?
Well, the communist crisis was when a French man invented communism and presented it to us, and for some reason, most of the committee was in favor of it, including myself, incredibly.
Wow. So, last but not least, what would you say is what the thing you've learned the most from this committee?
Well, I've learned a lot of French Revolutionary history just by what the study was read in my position statements and the study behind it. And now in person, I'm learning facts I did not know before. So it's been a lot of fun, and also how to form my debates better and how to make more effective points.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more interview from the French Revolution trials. Can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Louis Philippe I, and my name is Yasmin.
What would you say has been the hardest part of the committee so far?
I think that the committee as a whole, every delegate here is very experienced and they're open to trying new things. So there have been a lot of historical modifications for the sake of debate, and there's no such thing as like resting and knowing that it'll be something stable. So always something unexpected will happen. So managing that is probably the hardest part with the verdicts and everything.
What would you say was your biggest shock within this committee?
My biggest shock was like in the crisis when you came in and started talking about communism as if you were like the new Karl Marx, but we're in the 18th century and communism is only in the 19th. But I thought it was really creative, and it was something to not make the debate repetitive, and I was able to put even more points. So in the end, it made sense.
Thank you so much. I've been exposed as the creator of communism in France. Anyway, what would you say you have learned the most from this committee?
Well, before as a delegate, I was always trying to like write out every speech of mine and make sure that everything I said came out perfect. And this time I really try to get out of my comfort zone, even though I am an intermediate position. In other in other committees where I've been in advanced, I would only speak when I knew exactly what I want to do. And now I think I approached it with more confidence and what I was going to say, and that really helped me in the conference overall. So not being like a control freak and making sure that everything's perfect, just having fun and making sure the work is done.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're back with another interview of the French Revolution Trials Committee. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Joanna. I'm from Paspoa, and I'm a freshman.
What would you say has been the funnest part of the committee so far?
I think the crises, but also during the normal committee sessions, there were a lot of turnarounds with surprise marriages and alliances that I think made the committee more engaging.
What do you think has been the biggest divide in the committee so far?
I think definitely the last crisis where Robespierre was declared to be a monarchist, which was what he was against the whole committee. So I think it was really interesting, the redivide.
And lastly, what would you say you have taken away from this experience?
I've gotten the experience of doing the mock trial structure, and I've gotten to learn a lot about the French Revolution.
We're back with another interview in the French Revolution trials. I've done this introduction 30 times already. Can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Maximilian Robespierre.
Also known as?
Katarina Nade.
You're a very main character in this committee, and I've heard from some other people that you've just been exposed as a traitor. Can you please explain?
Yes, actually, it all happened because I met a woman. She is the love of my life. She's my light in the period of darkness that I was in during the revolution. I cannot live without her anymore. Marie Antoinette, I love you. And it's just, I met her and she was like, I want to be queen again. And I had to do it for her. Like, love is truly a force that does it all. I can't say anything else. It truly is.
Would you say that has been one of your takeaways from the conference, the committee?
Yes. The second takeaway is there always can be a crisis in the most randomest times. And be careful with investigations, because that happens a lot too.
What would you say has been the hardest part of the committee?
I believe the hardest part is kind of like now, because it was unexpected, to say the least. And we had to figure it out, but now it's all good. Napoleon's gonna be king in the next 10 years. And I'm gonna be king too, and I'm gonna then retire and go to Versailles and live my best life living in the gardens and doing nothing. It's gonna be great.
Wow, two kings. A lot is going on in this committee. Thank you so much for your time, Maximilian.